Thank you all. So today we're excited to hear from not just one, we can do everything times two here. We get to hear from two mayors and to better understand where we are headed as a community. So Mayor Feierabend and Mayor Osborne will be leading both Bristols as we finish out this 2019 year and then well into 2020. You're all here because you understand how important city leadership is to business and to the overall economy of our community and our greater region. To our businesses that are here today, thank you for engaging in this important dialogue and for actively sharing in the work we're all doing to ensure that Bristol is globally recognized as the community with exceptional quality of life in which our citizens flourish in an environment of acceptance and economic prosperity. So as the business community, we should be talking about things like, what do we want the business climate to reflect in this community? What do we want to create in the community, or what do we want to change in the community? We should be thinking about what fundamental positive changes will occur for us and for our stakeholders if we stay engaged and we work alongside our elected leaders to create and sustain a strong and vibrant community and region. So hopefully that's why all of us are here today. So at this time, I'd like to ask Jody Dutcher with Electromechanical, who is also our chair of the board this year, if she will come forward and continue forward for us.
Thank you, Beth. We are honored to have Food City once again to be one of 3 sponsors of our State of the Cities program today. KVAT Food Stores Incorporated is the corporate banner for the Food City supermarket chain and is an acronym for its base trade area of Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. In 2015, the company also purchased 29 supermarkets, including 21 pharmacies in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and North Georgia. This privately held, family-owned company has grown over the years by expansion, new store construction, and acquisitions. The 132-store chain includes 124 Food City locations with 106 pharmacies and 103 fuel convenience stores, 6 Super Dollar Food Center limited assortments, and 2 wine and spirit stores, serving a current trade area of over 1.4 million households with a population of 3.3 million. They also operate their own 1.2 million square foot distribution center located in Abingdon, Virginia. Food City operates 5 stores in the Bristol area: Bonham Road, Euclid Avenue, Volunteer Parkway, Virginia Avenue, and Highway 394. The company is also in the top 5 of the largest privately held companies in Virginia and generally holds the top market share in all the markets where they compete. Food City locations offer a wide variety of services and conveniences, ranging from in-store bakery delis to floral boutiques and full-service meat and seafood departments. Through a partnership with local farmers, Food City is able to bring their customers fresh from the field fruits and vegetables. Many items are delivered directly from the farm to the store on the same day they are picked. Each year, Food City buys approximately $5 million in fresh produce from local growers. The company also offers the added convenience of go-kart curbside pickup at 52 locations throughout their market area, and Food City home delivery powered by Instacart is also available in 95 of their locations, providing shoppers with the flexibility of same-day delivery to their doorstep. Food City supports a number of community-based organizations and agencies throughout their market area. Food City's School Bucks program has donated more than $19.3 million in much-needed equipment to area schools. Their annual charity golf outing has raised a combined total of over $6.35 million since its inception to benefit area charitable organizations, and their annual Race Against Hunger campaign also provides over $400,000 in assistance to local hunger relief organizations each year. Their Mission Able project has raised over $1.26 million in the last 8 years to benefit Paralyzed Veterans of America. The Food City name is also synonymous with NASCAR racing through the sponsorship of two of the sport's most popular events, the Food City 500 and the Food City 300 at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. This year, Food City is celebrating its 27th anniversary of their race sponsorship, as well as the 32nd anniversary of Food City Race Night, which will once again be on State Street next Wednesday. We are fortunate to have the locally owned and operated Food City in our backyard. We are also grateful for Food City's president and CEO, Steve Smith's giving heart to the communities they serve, as well as his commitment to providing all of us with top quality products at the lowest possible price and exceptional service while continuing their mission the company has founded upon over 60 years ago, to run the best store in town. There are several folks here today representing Food City that I'd like to recognize, and if you would, please stand as I call your name. Kevin Stafford, VP of Marketing. Drew Hembry, VP of Sales. John Bear, Store Manager of the Bonham Road Food City. Jamie Vaughn, Store Manager, Euclid Avenue Food City. Steve Strickler, Store Manager, Blumpville Food City. Eric Sandifer, Store Manager, Virginia Avenue Food City. Lisa Johnson, Sports Marketing and Special Events Coordinator. And Christine Druin, Graphics Designer. And here joining us up front, Israel O'Quinn, the Director of Strategic Initiatives, who we also know as Delegate Israel O'Quinn. We thank you for your continued investment in this program and our community. It is now my pleasure to invite Delegate Israel O'Quinn to the podium to offer invocation and pledge. Israel.
Thank you, Jody, and it's our honor to be able to be here, to be a sponsor again this year. And Food City's always enjoyed a good relationship with the Bristol Chamber. Having served as a former chairman, I know that you end up doing a lot that not all of us get to see every day, but you're doing it to make Bristol better. Our company's also enjoyed a great relationship with both cities, and that's something that we appreciate as well. We look forward to having everyone down to Bristol Motor Speedway for the Food City 300, and hope you'll join us there. And look forward also to hopefully having race night on State Street this year, and look forward to also having you join us there for that 32nd anniversary. So if you'll join me by bowing your heads for our invocation. Father, we want to thank you for this day and for this opportunity for us to be out and about enjoying your creation today. We thank you for these two cities that make up Bristol, and we are thankful for the cooperative spirit that we have all shared over the years. We also thank you for so many local leaders who are willing to step up and to help lead Bristol in the right direction. And we pray for continued success for the businesses, the organizations, the churches, all who seek to make Bristol a great place to live. Please bless our government and community leaders with wisdom and foresight so that they may make prudent decisions for the future of this city. We thank you for allowing us to gather here today in this venue, and we also thank you for this food that we have partaken of, and we ask that you bless, strengthen, and nourish us with it. We ask in your name, amen. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Israel, and the team at Food City for all you do. It is also now my great pleasure to introduce a founding State of the City's event sponsor, Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services. BTES provides electric, internet, telephone, and cable television services to the city of Bristol, Tennessee and surrounding communities. BTES also provides the fastest internet currently available in the United States, with 10 gigabytes per second available to every home and business in its service area. Under the exceptional leadership of Dr. Michael Browder, the organization has been nationally recognized for its exemplary practices by receiving the presidential level Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, as well as the diamond level Reliable Public Power Provider Award from the American Public Power Association. For many years, BTES has been voted the best cable and internet provider in the Best of the Bristol Awards, and has received state and national recognition for its community service efforts. There are several folks today representing BTES, and I'd like to recognize them. Please stand as I call your name. Larry Clark, Board President. David Akard, Board Vice Chairman. Aaron Downs, Board Secretary. Tom Davenport, Attorney. Doug Harmon, Board Member. Vince Turner, Board Member. Clayton Dowell, Director of Engineering. Tara McCall, Director of Management Services. Lola McVeigh, Director of Accounting and Finance. Jessica Waterman, Systems Analyst Supervisor. Diane Smith, Supervisor of Customer Service. Steve Craddock, Supervisor of Transmission and Distribution. David Hacker, Supervisor of Electrical Engineering. Cody Johnson, Supervisor of Purchasing. April Eads, Business Development Manager. Jennifer Brewer, Executive Assistant. Diane Smith, Supervisor of Customer Service. Chris Sykes, Supervisor of Television Production. Cody Cornelius, Television Production Specialist. And here joining us up front, Dr. Mike Browder, Chief Executive Officer. We thank you for your continued investment in this program and the leadership you provide our community. Please help me welcome Dr. Michael Browder to the podium.
Thanks, Jody. Margaret Feierabend currently serves as Mayor of Bristol, Tennessee, chosen by her fellow council members to serve a second one-year term beginning July 2019. Margaret served as mayor last year and vice mayor the year before, and she proudly served as the first woman mayor in Bristol, Tennessee from 1997 to 1998. Margaret and her family have lived in Bristol for 37 years and in the region for 41 years. She has an undergraduate degree from LSU and an MED in Community Health Education from North Carolina, from University of North Carolina, Greensboro. She and her husband have 3 grown children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 young men that they grandparent who are students at Tennessee High and East Tennessee State University. Margaret believes that jobs, economic development, and quality of life issues are key to our community's success. She serves on several nonprofit boards, including the United Way of Bristol, Family Promise of Bristol, Bristol Public Library Foundation, Bristol Tennessee City Schools Foundation, and others. She continues her advocacy for children, youth, and families with her work through Bristol's Promise, Youth Networking Alliance, working with Twin City Reads, Trauma Informed Care Community, Sullivan County Anti-Drug Coalition, and other initiatives. She volunteers as a reading buddy and in the Bristol Food Pantry. Margaret strives for engaged citizens and positive citizen involvement, making Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia the best place to live. Since she asked me to keep this short, please help me in welcoming to the podium Mayor Margaret Feierabend for her State of the City's address.
All right, before I begin my 15 minutes, if anybody's timing me, I want to introduce our, pull them down and in a little bit. Does that work in the back? But hopefully it's all the way through. I want to introduce our city folks who are here today. And I want to introduce our city council members who are here. Malin Luttrell, and I'm going to make y'all stand too. So Malin Luttrell, Vice Mayor. Chad Keene was unable to come at the last minute. Lee Powers, Vince Turner, and continue to stand with our staff. Bill Sora, City Manager, Danielle Smith, City Attorney, Blaine Wade, Chief of Police, Terry Smith Talbert, Community Relations Director, Mary Lee Williams, Director of Administration, Tim Beavers, Director of Development Services, Tom Anderson, Economic Development Director, Velma Whitty, thank you, Executive Secretary to the City Manager, Velma, I'll get that right eventually, Tara Music, Finance Director, Mike Carrier, Fire Chief, Terry Napier, Parks and Rec Director, and real pleased to have Dr. Annette Tudor, who's Interim Director of Schools. If y'all will all give them a hand, appreciate it. So good afternoon. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and our sponsors for holding this annual event. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mr. Rogers is having an appreciation comeback with last year's movies, Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like, and Won't You Be My Neighbor, and this year a holiday movie coming up, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. I've seen the trailer and it looks awesome. I'm going to spend a little time today talking about our neighborhood, including a word, emotion, concept that I think Mr. Rogers covered in so many words throughout his lifetime relationship with us and with children, and that's gratitude. But before I begin on all the positives that we have in our neighborhood, I feel the very strong need to recognize challenges that we face here in our neighborhood and our larger community. Poverty. United Way has partnered in Tennessee to produce an ALICE report, which stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed, a report that identifies the struggles of the working poor in our communities. We know that the percentage of our Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia populations covered in this report is high. We do a lot to help in our community, but do we do enough? Are the things we're doing, do they really help? Next, climate change. My heart breaks with the breaking of heat records. My heart breaks when I hear that Greenland lost 12.5 billion tons of ice in a record-breaking single-day meltdown. My heart breaks when my sister-in-law's home in New England registers 100 degrees during a heat wave, no air conditioning. She lives in New England. Her house is built as passive solar to keep the heat in during the cold winters. And my heart breaks that this is absolutely real. It is happening now and to us, and to our children and our grandchildren. The city's limited as to what we can do to help. We all need to work on this critical issue. My heart breaks every time there's a mass shooting or any shooting. Gun violence is epidemic. We're losing our loved ones. We're living in fear. We have to train for active shooter events, knowing that there's certain death for some. We're working on it to not be many. We're in crisis. Actions to take need to include all options. While I'm thinking darkly, the opioid crisis continues, with meth now increasing again. There's much we can all do to understand to reduce ACEs and toxic stress, to build resiliency, and to help each other with this illness. These challenges challenge me in my thinking, in my role, in my responsibility. The comments I'm making today reflect that we, our cities and community, are limited in how we are and can be addressing these issues, but there's more that we can do, there's more that we must do. But moving back to the positive, moving back to our neighborhood, our Bristol community. We're two cities divided by a state line, often facing challenges. However, in our hearts, we're one community that gathers on occasions like this to celebrate our successes and together be grateful for this neighborhood of ours. Robert Emmons and Michael McCullough define gratitude as a two-step process. One is recognizing that one has obtained a positive outcome. The second is recognizing that there's an external source for this positive outcome. Today, both of us as mayors are sharing with you that critical external force that shapes our neighborhood, our cities. Recent studies show that feeling grateful, being grateful, gives us a sense of well-being and moves us into actual improvement of physical and mental health, providing for a better workplace, stronger families, and leading to more happiness. This is powerful. Writing grateful lists, thank you notes, giving unexpected thank yous to friends, families, coworkers, or neighbors makes us feel better and actually be better. So I want you for a minute to take a minute, think about our neighborhood, our community. What are you grateful for? And now I want you to share that thought with your neighbors. So interact for 10 seconds. What are you grateful for? All right. Hopefully you were able to share something, and hopefully that improves your look at things. And the studies show that just even in the morning, taking a few minutes before you start your day to think about what you're grateful for makes a very big difference. Thanks for participating. I'm a much better facilitator than speaker, so I'm grateful that you allowed me to use my best skills. I'm going to share some accomplishments in the areas of our city goals: economic and community development, quality of life, health and safety. Historic downtown Bristol serves as our front porch and is a key player in our neighborhood and our economy. It's where we come together as a community. We are committed to preserving the historic elements of our downtown and enhancing business development opportunities. The downtown study completed last year has begun to be implemented. A grant to form a downtown historic district has been received and work will begin this year. Design standards are being discussed and formulated. The expanded sidewalks on 6th Street, who read the newspaper, will accommodate outdoor cafes and encourage new businesses to fill empty spaces. Decorative light posts and planters will be installed. Closure structures for pedestrian-only traffic during special events are in the works. I challenge you to believe in Bristol, believe in our downtown. This is reflecting continued growth, and we'll see creative results, further enriching our downtown, encouraging neighborhood gathering. Hotels. In a short time period, we have three new hotels in downtown Bristol. This is amazing. Let's celebrate and participate in the changes they will bring and are bringing. Last October, the American Planning Association recognized State Street through their Great Places program. We are grateful for our unique feature that sets us apart. We're grateful for the private investments made in our city, past and future. Exciting downtown projects are happening. Lost State Distilling is cutting their ribbon next week. Apartment living and, yes, some parking opportunities in downtown are in the works as well. A couple of years ago, the city had a baseball study done. We're looking at that study, hoping to take it to the next level to identify funding opportunities for a baseball stadium and multi-use facility. And we'd be grateful if anybody wants to come forward today to be a private investor in that great project. You can talk to me or Bill Sora or Tom Anderson. We're grateful that state legislation that established the border region has been successful for us. Developer investments at the Pinnacle, coupled with infrastructure improvements made by the city, have sparked significant commercial development. The city has experienced increased sales tax revenue, a spike in employment opportunities, and if you've driven the area, you've noticed more traffic congestion. The city is currently seeking TDOT funding to help alleviate congestion and increase safety in that busy area. Through our many and amazing partners, the city supports strong and vibrant tourism industry that is an integral part of our local economy. We're looking forward to welcoming race fans to our city next week, and we're excited to host Food City Family Race Night downtown so visitors can experience our Bristol neighborhood. This time next year, we will be preparing for a big September with back-to-back rhythm and roots and race events. Our partnerships with Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services, TVA, the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, and Sullivan County Networks allowed us to construct a 35-acre site in the Bristol Business Park. Our partnerships have made it possible to develop the Aerospace Park at Tri-Cities Regional Airport, designed to attract aviation-related industries with higher-paying jobs. We're continuing to support small business through our partnership with Startup Tri-Cities, with the Small Business Festival, and we're evaluating opportunities that would encourage communications between small business owners. We're grateful for the 6th Hiring Expo that featured over 2,000 jobs, hosting over 50 employers. Offering this opportunity to both employers and to employees has been a boost to our city as well as to our region. The Economic Development Study for passenger rail service from Roanoke to Bristol, conducted for Bristol, Virginia, leaves us hopeful. Passenger rail development through Bristol is a journey that I hope to see in my lifetime at least, if not a whole lot sooner. Community development and quality of life, economic development, health and safety work together and cannot be isolated. We're grateful for our partnership with Sullivan County. Together we have invested in our children and future with building new schools. Our partner, Bristol, Tennessee City Schools, is in the midst of a new middle school project, and if you want to talk about traffic congestion, you can talk to Dr. Tudor afterwards. And look at the blog. Look at the blog. Look at the blog. It'll help you out. So a community day center is being pursued through partnerships of city departments, nonprofits, and human services agencies. The center will serve to help those who are homeless and those at risk of being homeless with providing a hub for resourcing community services. A second dog park behind Food City on Virginia Avenue will move us more toward being a pet-friendly community. I'm excited and grateful for the Mendota Trail. Oops, that's not in Bristol, Tennessee, but it's in our neighborhood, and aren't we so pleased and grateful to see the celebration of the opening of the first 3 miles from Bristol going out toward Mendota. We're excited in Bristol, Tennessee to have an engineering study being done for the extension of the Lakefront Trail at Rooster Front Park to Bristol Motor Speedway. This is a multi-year project and will connect Bristol Motor Speedway through Steel Creek Park, through the Anderson Street neighborhood to our downtown and Tennessee High, and sidewalk extension from Tennessee High to Lavender Lane further connects our neighborhoods. I'm grateful to my husband and friends of Steel Creek for the partnership that is creating a phenomenal facility at the Nature Center where very talented staff can bring us all closer to nature and appreciate our natural neighborhood of Central Appalachia, which is one of the most biologically diverse areas in the temperate world. Personal, family, and community safety is more important than ever. Our city excels, but we're always looking for improvement and never taking anything for granted. Safety is a top priority. Our police department continues to prepare for emergency situations through training and drills. Services for citizens include a rape aggression defense training program, traffic safety school, active shooter programs, the Citizens Police Academy, providing a behind-the-scenes look at police work, and Camp Challenge, a program that allows kids to interact with police in a fun and educational environment. Our fire department maintains the accreditation received last year, is enjoying their new station at the Pinnacle, and looks forward to having a new station in the Holston View area in the next few years. I am grateful for what our city offers our residents. We're challenged to keep our property tax rate competitive and still accomplish our goals. We must find the best balance to keep our competition high and be affordable for residents and businesses. Quality of life plays a big role in economic competition, community vitality, and growth, and it comes with costs. Partnerships help us, but funding is critical. It's important to realize for Bristol, each penny on our property tax brings in about $72,000. This is less than half of what Kingsport and Johnson City bring in with lower tax rates. This is a big challenge as we strive to provide quality services and be the best neighborhood ever. To close, I'm grateful for all of you, my neighbors, for having a caring community where we come together to meet needs, to problem solve, to plan new initiatives, but most of all for caring. I'm grateful every day in a big way for the city employees who put themselves on the line, who work tirelessly, who give of themselves, and believe in their work, believe in our city and our neighborhood. We would not be who we are, special in every way, without them. Our city, our community, our neighborhood. Let's be grateful and celebrate together. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce a new event sponsor for this year. We are proud to have Point Broadband join our business community and are so appreciative of the great community support and investment they immediately extended upon coming to Bristol. Point Broadband takes great pride in offering the communities they serve a faster and smarter solution for internet, TV, and phone, using their state-of-the-art fiber-based network. As a local company, they want you to have ultra-fast, reliable internet service to power all of your streaming devices for music and TV, and crystal clear calls every time you pick up the phone. I would like to introduce you to the team from Point Broadband that is here today. Please stand as I call your name to be recognized. David Ficken, Vice President, Strategic Growth. George Picard, Commercial Account Executive. Mike Weatherford, Commercial Account Executive. Dave Whitmer, Residential Sales Manager. Bridget Addington, Customer Service Manager. Jamie Rector, Marketing Coordinator. And Todd Holt, CEO. Todd serves as the CEO of ITC Capital Partners and Point Broadband, an ITC portfolio company. Todd has extensive experience with startup organizations as well as mature businesses in the areas of finance, operation, strategy, business development, and investor relations. He has also successfully managed human resources, legal, risk management, marketing, and sales organizations with smaller and larger organizations, and has experienced success with capital structure management and mergers and acquisitions. And at the head table is Joseph Puckett, General Manager of the Virginia-Tennessee markets. And at this time, please help me welcome Joseph to the podium.
Thank you, Jody, and it's a pleasure to be here. I didn't know I had 15 minutes, so I have to add to that. But Madam Mayor, as you spoke, I grew up in the coal fields of Virginia, just across the mountain in Russell County. And you talk about Bristol as a neighborhood. As a child, we came to Bristol to shop, to go to the movies, get back to school supplies, sometimes just to eat, and once or twice a year, maybe to the drive-in down on the Parkway or to the Bristol Tigers, as they were then, Malin. And we never knew when we crossed the border. So when you mentioned, what are you grateful for, I whispered to Neil, my children. And it got me thinking about how I saw Bristol as a kid, and that's how it looks in this room. I don't know who in each seat here, except for the folks I know, which side you're on, and that's the whole point of the neighborhood. But that was a thought that came to my mind, inspired by your remarks. I have the pleasure of introducing the Bristol, Virginia mayor. I met Neil about 12 years ago, and we shared a passion for public service. And he's got a heart for his community, and he's translated grassroots time and investment over the last decade into an elected position that now he's giving time away from his family, away from his job, back to his community. And there's really not a pure form of service and that you can do. It's a big sacrifice. We do business in about a dozen cities and counties in Virginia and Tennessee. And I can tell you, local government leadership is vital. If you don't have forward-looking, pragmatic folks that are invested in your community, you're not going to thrive. You're going to be left behind. And our mission at Point Broadband is to improve life through fiber technology. It's as simple as that. We're focused on doing it in small town USA and rural America right now. That's our heart. Our mission is fiber, but our heart is rural America and small town USA. So That's why we're here. We're grateful to be a new member of the chamber, and we're going to be a longtime member of the chamber. But I want to introduce Neil. Neil is elected to the Bristol, Virginia City Council on May 1st, 2018, and took office in July of that year. On July 1st of 2019, he was named mayor of Bristol, Virginia. He was born and raised in Bristol. Neil's a 2006 graduate of John Battle High School and attended Virginia Highlands Community College, another item that we share in our history. Neil wants Bristol to expand, grow, and be a beacon for the rest of the Mountain Empire for how a city can recover from economic adversity, which we have a tremendous amount of in Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. In addition to his duties as mayor, Neil serves on the Finance Committee, the Bristol Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, the Bristol Train Station Foundation Board, District 3 Governmental Cooperative, Transportation Safety Commission, and Highlands Community Public Policy Management Team. So that's a lot of things. I butchered some of those. There's probably some that aren't on the list, but it tells you what kind of service it takes to be a part-time elected official in a rural community. Now Bristol's always city to us where I grew up, but I think we'd all agree this is still rural America. And that's why I'm grateful that our CEO took time to come and be a part of this. And Point Broadband's made an investment in this market. We have 110 of our 150 employees here. We're going to grow here, and we want to be a part of your community. And we're grateful to have leadership like Neil Osborne. So please help me in welcoming Bristol, Virginia Mayor Neil Osborne to the podium.
All right, good afternoon. You know, before I got up here, they told me to be brief, so don't worry, I'll be as brief as I can be, no matter how long it takes. That's the only joke I got him, so. Thank you, Joseph, for that generous introduction, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event, and thank you to our sponsors, Bristol, Tennessee Essential Services, Food City, and Point Broadband. Before I get started, I want to recognize a few people we have here with us from the city of Bristol, Virginia. And if you all just stand up all at once, and we'll get you a round of applause all together. From the City Council, we have Vice Mayor Bill Hartley, Councilman Anthony Farnham, and Councilman Kevin Mumpower. And I know that Councilman Wingard wanted to be with us, but he wasn't able to make it. We're also happy to have our city manager with us, Randy Eads. And we have some of our department heads here. Chief Financial Officer Tamara Spradlin. I don't know if I've seen her. No, she couldn't make it. She's too busy working. Department of Public Works Director Wallace McCullough. Our Police Chief John Austin. Our Economic Development Director Chris Wilcox. The Chief of the Fire Department Mike Armstrong. City Planner Sally Morgan. The Director of Community Development Bart Poe. Nicole Storm, who's our Clerk of Council and the City Manager's Executive Assistant. And our Fire Department Office Administrator, Melanie Fleener. So please give everybody a round of applause. So these are just a few of the deeply committed and talented employees we have in the city. We thank you all for your time investment and what you do for our citizens. While we're on the subject of city employees, there's one employee I'd like to talk about briefly. Oftentimes we only hear about negative things in the news. But beyond those negative things, sometimes there are glimmers of the true human spirit of goodness. In March, Sergeant Wendy Brewer with our Bristol, Virginia Police Department responded to a call for a welfare check on a resident in one of our apartment complexes here in the city. The resident was a disabled man who was hungry and had no food. Sergeant Brewer found one of the last remaining things in his cabinet, pancake mix, and prepared a meal for him to tide him over until further arrangements could be made for assistance. This may seem like a small act of kindness to some, but it truly made a world of difference in the life of a man who needed it. Unfortunately, Sergeant Brewer couldn't be with us here today, but her compassion for the residents of our city is a shining example of what we should all aspire to be, and we thank her for it. Bristol, Virginia is a city on the move. In today's rapidly changing economy, you have to be. A few short years ago, we were in dire straits, declared one of the most financially distressed localities in the Commonwealth. I don't want you to think we're out of the woods yet by any means, but I do want you to know we can see some daylight. Recently, according to the State Auditor of Public Accounts, Bristol is no longer considered one of the most financially distressed localities. Thank you. And it is absolutely thanks to the hard work of all of our employees. I'm sure most of you in this room can recite chapter and verse what Bristol, Virginia's problems have been, so I won't rehash the history that brought us here. Today is about the future, where we are and where we want to be. Bristol, Virginia has a unique opportunity. By necessity, we have the chance to reinvent ourselves. What kind of city do we want to be? How do we effectively market ourselves to show people outside of the Mountain Empire what a jewel we are? Well, the answer to those questions are multifaceted, and I'm sure you all don't plan on camping out here overnight, so I'll limit myself broadly to 3 things. When I ran for the City Council in 2018, 3 of my main campaign priorities were supporting our education system, strengthening the standing of public safety and first responders, and realizing new tax revenue through economic development. These priorities carried into my first year on the City Council, and they've now accompanied me in my term as mayor. The City of Bristol, Virginia has 4 elementary schools: Van Pelt, Stonewall Jackson, Highland View, and Washington Lee. As buildings tend to do as they age, some of these schools develop some pretty serious issues. Because of the age of the buildings, full top-to-bottom renovations would have an eye-popping price tag attached to them. So the school board developed plans for a new elementary school to replace 3 of the existing buildings. This plan would have called for a new state-of-the-art building adjacent to Van Pelt property at Exit 7. And nobody really loved the location, but the City Council, as it was composed before I was elected, gave the school board the mandate that any plan for new construction must be budget neutral. So thanks to some innovative plans for funding and no cost for the land, the proposed new school at Exit 7 would have been budget neutral. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that plan passed, so we moved forward. Before the end of this previous budget cycle, and with the leadership of Mr. Farnham and Mr. Hartley, the City Council and School Board agreed to invest a combined total of $200,000 into the existing elementary schools for safety and accessibility upgrades. And on July 1st, after joint meeting with the School Board and City Council, we agreed in principle to construct a new elementary school somewhere centrally located within the city. Now, this plan will require a significant additional appropriation from the city in the future, and it does require several things to fall into place correctly. And we by no means sealed the deal, but we are closer than ever to realizing the possibility of providing our students with an environment truly conducive to learning in the 21st century. A couple of years ago, the City Council had to consider cutting 10 or more jobs from our fire department. Because of the public outcry, this plan was never implemented. During the previous budget cycle, not only did a majority of the City Council say no to cutting public safety personnel, we lifted the hiring freeze on police and firefighters, and we brought in new staff. In addition to that, in May, we took possession of a sorely needed new fire truck. And as part of our capital improvement plan, we are in the process of purchasing 6 new police cars to replace some of the aging vehicles we have on the streets. Adequately staffed and funded police and firefighters with the equipment to do the job, a top-notch education system with some of the best teachers in the world, and a plan to provide excellent facilities in which to learn. These things are local government 101 when it comes to marketing your city. When an industry, be it retail, manufacturing, high-tech, or any other field we can imagine, wants to locate somewhere, they look at several things, and one major component they look at is the quality of life of their employees, who may relocate with them or the new employees they'll hire. Bristol has a low cost of living. We have beautiful scenery, affordable houses, a rich culture of sports and music. And I want to be able to seal the deal when these businesses come knocking at Bristol's door by being able to show them the world-class education we can provide and a public safety system that is unparalleled when compared to other localities of our size. The third priority I've pledged to address is economic development. When a locality is looking for ways to grow its tax base, it requires you to be a good juggler. You're going to need to have 5 or 6 balls in the air all at once. And that's exactly what the City of Bristol is doing. In March, we officially welcomed our new Economic Development Director into our family. Chris Wilcox has come to the table with some bold and outside-the-box ideas, and he's working every day to make contact with new businesses, get our name out there, and spread the good news about Bristol. Another success story I want to highlight is that of KD Moore. KD has redeveloped and expanded a shopping center on Euclid Avenue and brought in some new businesses that have helped to revitalize the Exit 3 area. In addition to that, as I'm sure most of you have heard, KD is preparing to build a Planet Fitness and some associated stores at the Falls. We're incredibly appreciative of every one of Mr. Moore's team and for their commitment to working with the City of Bristol, Virginia now and in the future. One aspect that I felt was lacking entering this previous budget cycle, and you'll appreciate this, Beth, was the city's funding level for outside tourism marketing. Acting with the majority of council, part of our budget-funded increases for Discover Bristol and the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. As I mentioned briefly a moment ago, Bristol, and indeed the entire region, is full of natural beauty, and we are truly one of the best-kept secrets for travel destinations in the country. Today's travelers can very easily become tomorrow's residents. And it's important that we welcome tourists and travelers here with open arms and show them who we are and what they've been missing. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Bristol Resort and Casino. Jim McLaughlin and Clyde Stacy are proposing investing around $250 million into opening a regional tourist attraction right here in Bristol. As icing on that cake, they're going to repurpose our Bristol Mall to house it. If the legislation is approved by the General Assembly and signed by the governor, this project has the potential to create 5,000 jobs. These jobs would pay well and afford people the opportunity to have a fresh start and lift themselves up to a new way of life. In addition to the potential for new job creation, once fully operational, it's estimated the resort and casino would generate approximately $25 million in annual tax revenue. That type of money translates into a lot of good that can be done for the citizens of Bristol. I appreciate the work that State Senator Bill Carrico and Delegate Israel O'Quinn have done to shepherd this through the General Assembly. I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to speak directly with Governor Ralph Northam, and I appealed to him to make sure this legislation is passed and signed into law. And I would urge everyone to reach out to other members of the House of Delegates and State Senate and ask them to support this important legislation. Now, obviously, we can't rest on our laurels. As Satchel Paige, the former Cleveland Indians pitcher, said, "Don't look back, something might be gaining on you." Our city can't look back. We don't have the luxury or the time, and there's no need to do so. Bristol should be looking forward to new opportunities, to new ideas. Bristol's best days are still ahead of us, and I firmly believe that. One of the main reasons I ran for city council to start with is because of my daughter, Scarlett. She's almost 9 years old now. I was born and raised here in Bristol. I've grown up here, worked here, and I'm raising a daughter here. I want Scarlett to have the same opportunities for success here in Bristol as I have. And not just Scarlett, I want to afford every child in our city the same opportunity. To get a good paying job, to buy a house, to raise a family, and be able to pass by this train station every day and see that sign that we all know that says Bristol a good place to live, and say, no, Bristol's a great place to live. That's what they deserve, and it's on all of us to help provide that for them. And you know, when you watch the State of the Union address on television, at some point or another you'll hear the president deliver a line about what the State of the Union really is. So today I can say to you, the state of our city is getting stronger every day. Sometimes it's ugly and sometimes it's tough, and tough decisions have to be made. But every decision we make is with the best interest of the citizens of Bristol at heart. This city council, our city manager and department heads, and myself as mayor are taking bold steps to change the narrative in Bristol and rewrite our story. Bristol can serve as a beacon to other cities and counties across the Commonwealth of Virginia to show how to combat adversity and come out on the other side. Bristol is the capital of Southwest Virginia, and our two cities together are the capital of the Mountain Empire. Other localities look to us for leadership, and we should set an example for how to work together toward our common goals of growth and prosperity. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Bristol is the greatest hometown in the world, and with the teams that both of our cities have assembled and the hard work we're all doing every day, future generations will be able to say that for years to come. Thank you very much.